compound effect of alignment and congruency. The negative effects, the positive effects of being in alignment, being congruent, or being misaligned and incongruent. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today, y'all, man. If you're somebody that loves the topic of personal development, reality creation, law of attraction, all things in between, welcome. My name is MJ, and this is my channel where we dive into those topics. And if you're already a subscriber, man, much love to you. Make sure to hit the notification bell to get alerted every time I post a new video, right? Post about 4 a week. Now, let's dive into this important topic here, right? The compound effect of alignment, misalignment, or congruency and incongruency. Now, let's first talk about what being in alignment and being congruent means. So when we talk about, this is a main topic, like we've been hearing about this a lot lately, like alignment. It's been like over the last year or two, I've been hearing the word more. Incongruency. But what does that actually mean? Okay. I'll give you my definition. So being in alignment and being congruent means that you are making the decisions, you are taking the actions, and you are thinking the thoughts that match the best version of yourself. Okay, so the thoughts, behaviors, actions, habits, all of these things mean that they're congruent and they are aligned with the best version of yourself or your ideal self. Okay? That means that the frequency that you're on and just what you represent is congruent with that version of yourself. Now, if you're somebody that's been following this channel for some time, then you understand the importance of clarifying that ideal self. Clarifying exactly what that ideal self is. And just as a refresher, in order to know the requirements of your ideal self, you first need to understand what your vision is. So if you don't know what your vision is, then you won't be able to clarify the requirements of the ideal self in order to fulfill that vision. Okay. Now that we understand what alignment and congruency means, now let's talk about the compound effect. Okay. Now, the compound effect is also known as one of the 8 wonders of the world. There's 7 wonders of the world. Warren Buffett calls the compound effect the 8th wonder of the world. Let me correct myself. All right. Now, obviously, I hope I don't have to. The compound effect is basically, means that small, consistent, positive actions, when compounded over time, lead to significant success, while small negative choices lead to failure. Darren Hardy actually wrote a book called The Compound Effect. Okay. Now, when we talk about the compound effect of being in alignment and congruent, like when you are thinking the thoughts, making the decisions, taking the actions that are aligned with your ideal self, it creates a compounding effect in your life where being that best version of yourself becomes easier. Okay? Because now, through consistent alignment and consistent congruency, action becomes habit, habit becomes identity. I hope y'all didn't miss that. It's a bar. So through consistent alignment and congruency, action becomes habit and habit becomes identity. And identity is the foundation, because identity is who you are. It's not who you're trying to be, it's who you are. So when we're consistently aligned, not only does greatness and success naturally just become Success becomes easier. Us attracting the right things into our life becomes easier, right? You start to live life on easy mode because ultimately what happens when you're living aligned and congruent, life life starts to form in front of you the path of least resistance. Now, the path of least resistance is a very important topic because the universe is natural law, is universal law for the universe to try to conserve energy, to try to complete its task with the least amount of energy. That's just law. That's just nature's law. So when we're aligned and we're congruent, we ultimately make life a lot easier for ourselves, even though we may not be able to see it. Okay? Even though it may seem hard because you're implementing discipline, you may be doing things that you don't necessarily feel like doing. But on the universe's perspective, things are a lot easier for you, right? Because it's ultimately putting you in a position for that path of least resistance. Now, it's important to understand that this works both ways. It's a double-sided sword. What does that mean? That means that even when you take a negative action, when you are misaligned, when you're incongruent, it starts to, and here's the thing, it compounds quickly. Like alignment, congruency, misalignment, incongruency, it compounds very quickly. So, hey, let's say you've been wanting to lock in. You've been wanting to focus. You're like, hey, this is my lock-in season. I'm focused, man. I'm not partying. I'm not going out. And, your friends hit you and like, yo, bro, it's this party, man. It's going to be so many Johns, so many baddies there, bro. You got to pull up. And, man, you have that thought. It's like, man, I should probably stay in tonight, man. I should probably stay in, work on the business, do some development, whatever it may be. But then you're like, man, I can't miss tonight, right? And side note, what's happening in that moment is two programs that are fighting each other. And when I say programs, I mean subconscious programs. You have the program of your ideal self that's telling you, stay in and lock in. And then you have the program of your current self or the past version of yourself that's pulling you to go out. Now, let's say the example, in this example, the person goes out, have a fun night, with their friends, get drunk, all of these things, right? But then the next day, they're hungover, right? They can't get any work done that they were supposed to get done. Maybe they don't get their workout that they said that they were going to do. And now they're not even keeping their word to themselves. And then maybe it carries on in the Monday or the next day, right? We've all been there. And imagine how this compounds over a lifetime. These specific decisions and these actions. And it all equates to exactly where we are today, right? In your current situation, your ability to be aligned and congruent has a direct impact on your current situation in life. So it's very, very important to make sure that we're consistent, guys. This is a full-time job. Like alignment and congruency is a full-time 24/7 job and duty. That's the perspective that you have to have. Like you're always on the job. of alignment and congruency. And it takes a certain level of awareness to be able to identify that. So, guys, don't just think because you take this one day off, you make this one decision, you take this action that it's just a one-time thing. No, it can quickly compound. It can quickly compound. Every action, every decision is either a deposit into our ideal self, the bank account of our ideal self, or it's a withdrawal. At the end of the day, it's your choice. MJ the Mastermind signing out. Much love, much peace, much abundance, everybody. Until the next one.